Y254. Imagine.
Thank you for staying with us on Y254 News, and it is the best point of this bulletin whereby we get to discuss about issues affecting people in the society. And tonight we talk about women empowerment. And to make some correction, Jane Motisia is a country director under the Women in Africa organization, and Benedict Nzinzi is a mentor for adolescent girls. Thank you guys for finding time to talk about this topic, and a brief background of what Women in Africa is.
Women in Africa is a group of women that have come actually in Africa, not just Kenya. We have people in Nigeria, people in South Africa, people in Ghana, people in Tanzania, all over. Where it's a movement of volunteer women who want to actually feel we are empowered, whichever level that we are empowered, and therefore we feel we can actually empower someone else, either the mothers or the girls or whoever else, to be able to change the things that we feel if we had been told when we were younger, this would have changed. So our mission is to lead, empower, and transform. And to make girls know that they can actually be producers and not just consumers. They can be breadwinners. You realize that most of us, in actually global, not just Africa, breadwinner, just psychologically, you actually mean the man. And even when women are doing something, like when you have a female pilot, when you have a BCD, you put the gender. Why don't you just say the pilot? We'll be saying the female pilot. When you're asking the kids what you want to be, you still find that the kids are talking, the girls are saying something that we feel they're very feminine, the boys are saying something that is very specific. So just changing that mindset and knowing and helping people see women as human beings, and helping the women themselves, the girls, the women, see themselves first as human beings before they think of themselves as female. Okay. Yeah.
For you, Benedict, you're dealing with mentorship. Yes. We know not very many people like taking people under their umbrella and decide to guide them in every stage in life, because mentorship without follow-up is not mentorship. Yes. So would you tell us your journey on mentorship, and what do you push the girls to be, and what do you push them to view everything around them?
Yes, actually this is one of the core of the organization, and also actually it's like a movement. So the thing is that we do empower them. Number one is by changing the mindset. Number one, you change the mindset, you make them believe in themselves. Then also there is follow-up, because when we, for example, we hold talks. Like, for example, in schools, we want girls to be equal partners with boys, and also believe in themselves and bring the same thing that a boy can bring home. So the follow-up is that for example, we can choose a particular school. We go there, we take for example, a seminar with particular points. Those points we will follow up again. Actually, we can do that for a year and even after. So it's one of the best things that has happened. When the girls, when they believe in themselves, like for example, there's a time we went and spoke to children and young girls who were actually going to do their KCP. And you could see the change in that girl, the change. And the believing in ourselves, the resolution that girl made. And also, actually, we hold teachers to be our partners, the parents too. So you see, there is all-round approach in the girl child.
So, Jane, what would you say as a country, where are we at as far as women empowerment, women taking leadership both in the public sector and in the private sector? Where are we as a country?
I would say we have really moved on. We did have strides, but we are still very far. I think there was a report that was released last year late about the women CEOs and the kind of listed in NSC. And I think we only had six female CEOs. And even if you look at the statistics of the labor market, you'll find that women stall at a certain level. We grow, we all get to the job market, we grow, and after maybe management level, then people don't go beyond there. There'll be very few CEO women and ABCD, and the rest you're just at management, or you go to you're an assistant and you retire as an assistant, or you get a certain level and that becomes a comfort zone. So this empowerment is just not for the young girls. It's even for us as women to know that we remove that impossibility mindset. You can be. And the first thing that I tell people is, if you can't dream about it, if you think you can't, you're right. If you don't take time to just think, where do I want to be? What is my vision? 10 years from now, what do I want to have with my career? What do I have to have with my family? What do I want to have with ABCD? And just have that balanced view of what you really want to have. Because empowerment is not just about careers. Empowerment is not just about wealth. Empowerment is something that is well-rounded. Aiming to live lives that are actually balanced. Because for a very long time, women have just focused on the family aspect of their life, and the men have been able to balance family, world, career, spiritual, and all those things. But the woman has always been able to give up everything else for the sake of the family. And because of the same thing, we have seen women being abused again and again, including physical, including people dying, because you feel like you don't have any options. Because the one who is bringing the bread home, the one who is earning a living, is the one who is calling the shots. So you don't have a say. You can't even tell another person that I'm being abused, because if you say this, you don't know what your life will change to. So it's that aspect of telling people it has to change, and especially mothers who are not exposed. We realize you cannot empower kids whose mothers are not exposed.
Because they're the first caregivers.
Yes, and then at home, if the girl is being told, you can't do this, that's your brother's. You can't do, you're a woman. Yeah, you want to go to the shop with your father, you're told, no, you stay home, take care of the baby, let your brother go and get to know, support the dad.
Jane, you've said that most women will get into the job market and get an assistant position and be comfortable. They not go up to managing directors, to CEOs and everything. Bernadette, what do you think makes women not climb the ladder as we see men do it? Is it that women have taken it in themselves and say that it's not our position to take? Or is it that these opportunities are not availed to women?
Actually, as Jen has said, it's all in a mindset. You're given something and then you say, I'm okay with this. And actually, when it goes deeper to gender roles, you know, we are, like every community talks about a girl should do this, a boy should do this. But when it comes to JDs, they don't say, for example, job descriptions, like in the labor market, it doesn't tell you for a woman it is this, for a man it is this. You have to deliver. You have to do what you're supposed to do. So it is a changing of the mindset. It begins from you. Then you believe in yourself. For example, if a promotion is coming up, then you're supposed to apply for that. We need to have more women come out, and you need to believe in yourself. It is all in you, because you are all it takes to make that move.
Maybe I can just stop up on a bit on that. Some of the things, I'm also a HR professional, and I think some of the things that I've seen curtailing the growth of women are things to do with, first of all, the branding. We don't run ourselves like the brand. You go for a meeting and you just prepare how you look, but you don't prepare for the meeting. So when people are contributing for the agenda, you're actually quiet. And most women keep quiet actually in meetings and stuff, even in just staff meetings or board meetings or just management meetings. This woman has been put there, but she's quiet. Even in parliament, we see, you'll be seeing very few women voicing out, and the rest are either quiet or they don't even show up for the meeting. And when you keep quiet, people will never know your value. So they start sending you to go and make tea. And then also, because of how we have been brought up, we start thinking like, if there's tea there and people are sitting,
it's my responsibility
it is your
as a
work to
woman
go and serve tea. I don't have a problem serving tea, but that should not be your only contribution in that for them. And you should not serve it because you're a woman. Serve it because you feel like serving people, but not because you feel, because I'm a woman, now I'm seated here, you know. So that's one of them. And then failure to contribute to the meetings. So the men are talking and they're saying things that you thought about 5 minutes ago, but you are like, you didn't believe in yourself, some aspect of self-confidence and esteem. So you're like, what if I say this and it's wrong? Then the man thinks about it minutes later and we clap for them. You also clap for him. And then the other thing is, women like to play modest. You want to talk about your achievements, but it's like you don't want to be seen like you're bragging or like you're being proud of what you're trying to say. So every time you start with apologizing. I don't know how you take this, but my opinion is, I don't know how you guys will take this. And then you present, and then after that you start saying, I hope that made sense. The men will come there, or very confident women will come there, and they're going to say what they think.
Without apologizing?
First of all, because they'll have done their research. They know what they're talking actually makes sense and adds value, you know. And when they say they go like, that was my brief presentation, I hope we get to have the follow-up actions and ABCD. Because they are sure about what they are saying. But when you just limit your preparation to minutes and to areas that you're supposed to be showcasing yourself to how you look physically, then the other thing is actually dressing inappropriately. You dress in a way that you're not comfortable yourself, and therefore in the meeting you're not even comfortable to even volunteer to read the presentation, or you're seated but the whole time you're just like this, and you're this mature manager and it's just uncomfortable for you. And then again also, I've noted for the men, they actually take the risk. They even apply for jobs that they don't qualify fully. They're missing 1-2 qualifications, but they still apply. For the woman, you go like, oh, I'm missing this particular one. I've not finished my MBA yet.
I don't think I can apply
for this one. He'll apply with pursuing.
Okay, let us look at some of the strides that have been made. Recently in the US, during the midterm elections, we now have 100 women serving in the House of Representatives. We have 12 women in the Senate. We have, in Kenya, we have, for example, in Kenya, we have 22% of women. In Rwanda, Rwanda is the leading African country with a very high percent on women who are serving. So how now do we empower women to go out there and secure these jobs, secure these opportunities without feeling sorry?
The one for political...
Every either
aspect?
the public sector or the private sector. Benedict.
Number one, I'm thinking, in my view, you should wear the right hat. An example, if you're a mother, you wear the right hat. If you're a CEO, wear that hat that fits there with no apology, because you are qualified to be there just as any other person. So that is one of my views. And as Jen says here, it depends, because a man will go for that he knows that I only miss this. So if we actually made strides and also applied, you also apply, if it is, for example, if it's a business, even ordinary juakali, believe in yourself, do what the others are doing, and try, even if someone is bringing you down, whether it can be your colleague, it can be your fellow women, it can be other men, believe in yourself and also plan yourself very well. I think planning is key in all that.
We have the issue of unequal pay. I've had people complain, both in Africa and internationally, whereby I am doing the same work as my male counterparts, but I get paid less and it's paid more. So how now do we bring out this conversation? How do we make sure that these things do not happen? Because if I have an MBA and you have yours, we get into the office and we're doing the same jobs. Why should you get higher than me? So how do we curb this gap?
It can only start with the women themselves. There are things that you have to do for yourself. Of course, as a company, if you're organized well, you put systems that make sure there's equal pay for equal work. Actually, it's a minimum by the government, equal pay for equal work. But then there's also the power of negotiation. So if you're given what you're given, and because of whatever other fears that you have, you don't feel confident enough to actually negotiate for more because of the value that you're going to bring or whatever other issue, then you end up settling for that. And also because you're not brought up to speak up. So this man works very hard and is able to show that confident woman, that empowered woman works and is able to show whatever that they're bringing on the table. They are not modest about their achievements. They are able to be seen to be adding that value. Then this person is able to actually go and ask for more pay. And like the woman who's supposed just to sit at the back and is just comfortable with bora tu kazi. Yeah, as long as I have this job for me, it's okay. Then that will affect the gender pay.
As you wind up, because time is not on our side, I'll look at 3 challenges that would make us not have future women in the field, because we talk about the future and think that the future is only for our children and our siblings, but the future is ours too, because in 20 years time, a person who is 50 now is not going to be working, but they'll need the person who is probably in high school right now to have all the abilities that they need. We have teenage pregnancies, we have early marriages, and we have FGM. How do we fight this to make sure that we prepare these women for what is coming? A comment from each one of you. Let's start with you, Benedict.
Number one, I'll go to the core. Actually, parenting. As we are parenting, we should also strive to have equal parenting for both the boy child and the girl child, because they will move together in the workplace. They'll move together as partners. So you need to empower them. And in areas where we really had mentalities that brought the girl child down, as a parent, as a leader where you are in, you should enforce this so that both are equal partners, so that we don't have unbalanced unbalanced outcomes, which we are seeing today. Yes.
Jenny, comment on that?
For me, I think it's about dropping the can't mindset, because you grow up being told you can't do this, you can't, especially for the girls, you can't do this, you can't do that, and even for the women, and even just because we can't win this alone, the men have to be that's on board for us to have people who are empowered. So even for them, for the society to know that a child is a child, we don't have to celebrate and throw a party when there's a baby boy and when there's a baby girl, you know, it's like any other baby that has come to the field. So just knowing that all these people they're just human beings and they can both add value, and they should be given equal opportunity and they should be given equal chances. And again, the structure of the brain doesn't have a gender. There's no a male brain and female brain. I think those who study brains will tell you a brain is a brain. So again, as a girl, as a woman, as whatever that you are, just go out there knowing that you should view life as a human being. Don't keep saying, you know, I'm a woman, you know, I'm a woman. And that goes to women like us who are working. Where we still feel like like you can't buy yourself this car, you can't buy yourself ABCD because you're waiting for this man
To come
because
and do
that's how
these
you
things
were
for you.
told that this can only be achieved by men, including even in marriage setups where most women actually don't own property. Yeah, because they are not cultured that way to actually think they can actually own stuff and they can actually have things running on their own. They can't have a business running on their own. They can't be the pilots. They want to be the flight attendants. You know, all those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last question: how do we rightfully empower women without making the men feel it's like we are overpowering them or stepping on them?
For me, it's about making the men also understand what we're saying. Like for women in Africa, we are not fighting the men. We are not. Even when we go for empowerment programs, we actually have the men and the boys, the fathers and the mothers in our sessions, because we want them to appreciate that there is no point of not educating a girl. If you don't educate a girl, when the boy will be going to the university, the girl will be getting married at that age of 18. So what have you done? You are again increasing the poverty cycle.
Yeah.
If you just look at the examples of what is in the market, people who have gone to school, the women, they turn out as better citizens. Their kids after that live a better life. They go to good schools, they achieve better medical care, and everything is better for them than a woman who didn't go to school. So at the end of the day, is for both men and women, the society to know at the end of the day, we're just human beings.
Okay. Your comments, Bernard?
I'll also want to add on what Jane said. When women in Africa uses the woman as an entry point. You cannot be a jack of all trades. You have to have what you want to do, but it is inclusive. So we use the woman, the girl, as the entry point to empower her networks. The networks can be family, the networks can be a workplace, the network can be a religious place. So when we use her as an entry point there to be at least to have voice and to be able to work with them. Actually, we do inclusive. Everyone is in the program, but you must have an entry point of the person who you will touch so that they touch the other.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, guys, for really finding the time to come and share all that with us. That is all we have for you tonight on Y254 News Updates. If you're a lady out there, whatever you feel you want to conquer, I just challenge you, go and do it better and with a lot of confidence, knowing that there's no difference between what you can do and what a man can do. Good night. My name is Patricia Morioki.